Stage 1, identifying and researching about the topic. The topic of a position paper is rooted in issues defined as arguable points. In deciding on a topic of your position paper, consider these questions as guide. What subjects interest you as a writer? Who will your audience be? What do you think will interest your readers? What information can you find regarding your subject? Where can you find relevant information regarding your topic? You can also conduct a research on your strand for some possible topics by creating an annotated bibliography of 5 sources. An annotated bibliography is a list of citations of research sources, including a summary of information of each source. In this part, you need to think about subjects interest in you or that are relevant to your field of study.
So the next stage is stage 2, developing your claim and generating ideas. Develop a claim or position that states your opinion, preference, understanding, or standpoint of the topic or issue of your paper. This is where you make your claim. Your claim will be the thesis of your position paper. The claim is your opinion or your preference and your standpoint. Basically it's part of your argument. It is something you will use against the opposition or your opposing view. This is a format where it can help you write your own, where you can generate your own ideas, your own types of claim. In this format, you can write a paragraph explaining your understanding of the issue, the statement of claim or your position, and the type of claim. And this is where you can brainstorm on what arguments you need. You can use this format to think of more claims or think of more opinion. This is also another format where you can easily make your arguments, where you can compare your own opinions and evidences against the opposing position or your opponent. The next step is you need to verify your opinions and your claims by using evidences. There are different types of evidences. 1, print sources. 2, online sources. And 3 is empirical sources. The print sources is they are published and they have gone through a lot of editing, and so it is very verified and it's gone under a lot of editing and publishing, so it's very trustworthy. Online sources, it's very accessible and the information is just a click away, but you need to be careful in the opinion or in the evidences you'll get, because it's hard to verify your evidence if it's from online sources. Using empirical sources. Empirical sources is you need to create the facts yourself by gathering your own evidence using surveys and other methods to gather the information you need. This is an outline of your paper using Johnson, Sheehan, and Payne's organizational method for a position paper. First is the introduction of the issue. This is where you write the issue, of course, and you properly explain what the issue is. The second is the opponent's position. So they'll know what you're arguing against. 3. Limitations of the opponent's position. This is where you try to weaken your opponent's position or weaken their arguments. 4. Your understanding of the issue and statement of claim. This is where you state your opinions and preferences, like we discussed earlier. 5. Arguments and evidences of your claim. Of course, you need to back up your arguments with evidence so that the reader will be more convinced and persuaded with your paper. And the last is conclusion. Next is draft.
Stage 1. Observing useful language structures. Recognizing, conceding differing views and opposing positions. Useful words and phrases. Signal words and phrases. So, are some of the examples for observing useful language structure. Admittedly, although it may be true, despite the fact, granted, of course, he or she is right to say. In this part, you should use effective language structure. So, in this example, we use although in the first sentence.
Is stage 2 of draft. As you can see, this is an example of a draft. It is written about the personal health or the community health about the barangays. And there are tips on how to write the draft. I can't read it, so you could just. Next is guidelines for drafting. This is the guidelines where it can help you write the draft of your position paper. With this guide, it can be easier to write your own position paper and help you write more thoroughly with less confusion. First is you must have a clear statement of your position or claim questioning or supporting a fact, value, or policy. Of course, your position needs to be clear so that the audience or reader doesn't get confused. The second policy or guideline is you have to support your claim with arguments that may be stated inductively and deductively, presenting premises and conclusions which express your arguments. Do you remember inductive and deductive views? You can use it to support your claim with arguments by using specific to general or general to specific. The next guideline is your arguments must be supported by varied and multiple evidence, must be contextualized, relevant, and effective. Remember that you have to address existing or possible opposing claims and arguments that your readers and the other papers might have to avoid biases. Of course, you need evidence to avoid bias too, so that you can't just say your opinion and not back it up with evidence. No one will understand or believe what your claim is, and the opposing views or the opposing viewpoint will win the argument. In order to persuade your audience and reader properly, you need to provide evidence.
Stage 3. Presenting the paper, providing visual design for the paper. Aside from good content, effective language, and logical organization, your position paper may be more reliable, extensive, and appealing given supplementary materials and an interesting layout.
In these last slides, it is a self-evaluation to help you assess your own paper if you think it's good enough. With these questions, it can help your paper and guide you in writing an effective and persuasive position paper. As you can read, these are the questions that you can use to assess your own paper. You can also use your peers to evaluate your paper. You can make a sheet of paper and use it as a survey and ask them to improve the paper's content, or ask their for the ask them for their opinions on what you can improve on the paper's content. By revising from another perspective, this can help vastly improve your paper. These are examples of the questions. What is the argument's greatest strength? What is the claim being argued? How clearly is this claim stated? By this by using peer evaluation, you can use multiple perspectives from others, which can help your position paper greatly because you can obtain multiple opinions from multiple outlooks that you might not have. And there's also a rubric on your own paper. You can further help yourself and assess your own paper by using these rubrics. That's all. Thank you for listening to our discussion and our report. We hope you have a good day. Thanks.